Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Disney Animated, a cooperative game by Prospero Hall, and this is Funko Games. This is for ages 10 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes about 20 minutes per player. Hopefully you had a chance to check out or how to play and play through. You see other games here by Prospero Hall behind us. These are the cooperative games that they have done for Funko Games and for Ravensburger. At the end of the review, we'll talk about some of these games and how it compares to this one. So this is a race game, well, a race against the clock. You're trying to complete your movies. Each player will have a movie, and you see here, I have Aladdin and Julie has Snow White. There's Fantasia, 101 Dalmatians, and Alice in Wonderland. And so you need to complete your films before the end of the 13th turn. When it gets to 13, you get one more round. The villains know the endings of the film, so they're trying to stop the movie from being made. So they're going to have calamities that you need to take care of. Otherwise, they advance the clock faster. After every turn, it's going to go up one. But if you don't take care of the calamities that can come up here, it will advance the film can here additional spaces. Now, depending on the number of players and how hard you want to make it, it does have variable difficulty. With 2 players, we played standard with 2 calamities per turn. And you can see there, you can play even up to 8 with 4 players. The turn sequence is pretty interesting. You are going to select an action here, and in that action, you're going to do things to place backgrounds. And you see Julie's is unpunched, and mine is completed. So the whole idea is to have both films with the backgrounds completed, the characters painted in, and then you flip your board over, and then you need to put Jafar for Aladdin into the movie. And in this case, I also have to have the genie above the 5 here. Julie has to have all 7 snow dwarves out, and of course have it all filled in. So you'll do animation where you'll get these cards here, and these cards will be used to take care of certain calamities. Like, for instance, to remove this one, you need to have a heart. You can also use it that when your characters are placed, that I can use a Boo, Aladdin, or Jasmine, depending if I use a focus, a inspiration, or teamwork for Jasmine. For instance, the Prince, he can use inspiration when he's placed to get rid of a calamity. The sound allows you to place your special tokens. For instance, I'll place the genie for a friend like me, and then if we use them, we get bonus actions with him. Julie, when she places the dwarves, when she does a sound action, we can use it to increase the value of the actions. For instance, if we take an animation action, it's only worth 1 point when it's used over here, but if it slides over to here and we use it when it was on a 5, we'd be able to get more cards. So where it's located on the action track determines how powerful the action is. So if the animation card is on the 1 or 2, you draw 1 animation card. If it's on the 3 or 4, you draw 2 animation cards. If it's on the 5, you draw 3. Same thing with the background. If you select the background where it's at right now, you'll be able to place up to 5 points of backgrounds. And as you cover things, you get additional actions. You'll see what the magic tokens do in a minute. So if Julie did do this one, she selected this one, she can place this 4 right here and take a paint action, and then place any one of these ones somewhere else. So you could even take a sound action or cover up this one right here and get a magic token. So you can complete your backgrounds in any order, but you want to complete them in quadrants, so that way then you can take a paint action. Here to place Snow White, you need a yellow and a blue, and that's the paint action here. You can take 4 points worth of paint. On the bottom here, each paint is worth 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you take one, so if Julie needed a yellow, that's 1. And then she could take a wild here, that's 3. And she would have another point, and so she would look ahead as to, oh, I might want a green, a blue, or a red here, so she can take this blue. And then these slide down after you take them. And they recycle. As you use the paint, you put them from the top. So there's some strategy on what paints you take and how you load them back in. So that's background. You can paint. Sound allows you to place your tokens, and animation will get cards. Now magic, this is like a wild card. You can use a magic token to take a magic action, which means now that if I take this magic action, I can use a 3 for anything that's up here. Now, you'd use them usually for things that are below. So I could take a 3 animation or a 3 sound. Usually you take animation I'm sorry, magic when it's all the way up here, so then you can take a 5 for one of these. So as you take an action, if Julie did do the background, she places her backgrounds, these slide over, and now the background's a 1, which means that if I wanted to do it or Julie wanted to do it in the future, it was not worth as much. So that's why you take other actions first or use tokens to make them more valuable with the dwarves, for instance. And then you take a look at what calamities you can get rid of. So there's a calamity deck, 5 cards for each movie. And in our version, there's 2 up. So then Julie can look at, all right, can I get rid of any calamities? If she had a green paint, she can get rid of this one. Each movie has one of these in it where you can't get rid of this calamity, which means then you have to look at the card. What do we have to do if we can't get rid of that calamity? This is what the queen will do to us at the end of both our turns. Collectively discard 2 animation cards at random. If they match, advance to deadline. And Jafar in this case is you have to get rid of a magic token. And if you can't, you advance to deadline. So then Julie would try to get rid of these calamities. This one we can't get rid of. Then I would go take an action. We see if we have 7 animation cards. We can have up to 7 each. If we have more than 7, we have to discard. We advance the deadline, and then we determine if the villains get their turn. And then that's the end of that round. We advance the track, and then we get 2 more calamities. And so we have to complete our movies before the deadline. When we do place our backgrounds, say mine's completed here, we have to turn it over. And to defeat Jafar, I have to have the genie above the 5 action space. Use a red paint, a black paint, a heart card, and a grit card to place Jafar in the movie. And if he is placed, he's removed from the sequence of villains here, and then it would just be the queen until we defeat her. And that's how you play. So it is a race game. All right, so now we're going to give our rating and then our reasons for our rating, and then I'll compare it to these other games here. We'll compare it. All right, so we both rated it an 8.
Yes.
Very good. Enjoy playing, and I would suggest it.
Yes.
Especially if you're a fan of Disney.
Yep.
You might not rate this so high if you're not a fan of the IP. So for me, it's a thematic mechanics. You do really feel like you're putting together a film. And if you've ever been to Disneyland, I don't know about Disney World, they have those special where they teach you how to do animation. Remember that?
Right. Yeah, I do.
We've attended that a couple times.
That's pretty neat.
The fact that it's cooperative is great. I think this works better as a cooperative game. And it's asymmetrical, meaning that each movie has its own powers. So Fantasia, you're trying to get out music tokens. 101 Dalmatians, you have crunchies. And Alice in Wonderland, you have the cat. And the powers that to do is slightly different as well. So it's variable difficulty settings. It's very replayable, especially deciding what movies you want to play. The art is immersive. It's quality to decent components. So the wooden pieces are definitely quality. Mm-hmm. The cards are these cards are average. Okay, they're not linen finish. The tokens are sufficiently thick. These are nice thick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. These are what's cool.
Now this is what's cool. The puzzle boards are decent. Now it was warping a little bit. Now they stopped warping. I had to press down on them and to unwarp them. But the cards is what is the biggest letdown, probably on the quality. Everything else is really good quality, but the cards are average. Puzzle boards can be difficult to manipulate. Oh, why did I put a plus there? I should have been a plus minus.
Yes.
Yeah, I apologize for that. For young people, they're going to have a hard time. You'll see a struggle at times. I will struggle to put these in. It does take some finesse, even over time. But the good thing is they're not going to fall out.
No.
The bad thing is that it can be difficult for a young person or someone with arthritis like Julie to do it. So you'll see that I have to help Julie at times. So really, I guess I should have been a minus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a minus. Complexity and lack of examples. Less experience will have difficulty playing correctly. So we've played this 4 times at least.
Yeah.
And we still come across things that each movie, right here is where you're going to trip up.
Yes.
And when we did our How to Play and Playthrough, we forgot to take a magic token when I placed the genie. And then when Julie used a genie once, we're both able to use the genie bonus action. This game is, you got to be very precise to do well. And we forgot to take magic tokens at least twice and forgot to use the genie once, and therefore we probably lost a turn. We may have won if we would have done that. We did lose. And so when it says X here, that's the most confusing thing. It's because they needed to provide examples in the rule book of how each of these sound abilities work. And then when it says on the villains, collectively discard 2, they should have probably provided examples on that too. So collectively, that could mean that I could just discard 2 cards, or we could both discard 1. And so there's some strategy in that. So this is where I can see people not, like for instance, the first time we played this, we thought we both had to discard 1 magic token. Oh, it says collectively, we don't have to. So that's where, here, I'm a very experienced gamer, Julie's experienced as well. You can misread things in this game very easily and not do as well. Mm-hmm. And so it's only after repeat plays that you're like, oh yeah, we played that wrong. And then even while you're playing it, you have to go through it takes more repetitions than other games to get the sequence down correctly and to play everything correctly, because you have to be so precise to beat the villains.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of wiggle room to screw up, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, there's not.
So that's why it's a minus, because some people who are not as experienced gamers will make even more miscues, as they call it, in reading, or errors. Mm-hmm. So movie balance issues, I don't know if it's some movies are easier to play because of the villains than others.
Yeah.
Only through I don't know if that's the case or not. All right, so let's see what Julie has to say.
All right. I think this is a wonderful cooperative game. The components I thought were quality. The art is just beautiful on the villain boards. It's art everywhere. It's just really, really beautiful. I do think that multiple plays are needed to really understand how everything works, and we still are learning.
So we agree on that.
Yep, and I did the right one. I did a minus about how hard it is to get the puzzle pieces in and out of the board.
Yeah, so a young person would definitely have trouble. Like I said, I struggle with it.
I really struggle.
Because there is just being off by a millimeter. Okay, you got to move. You got to slide like this over just to fit something in sometimes, and then there's not a lot of give.
No.
But again, it stays in. That's a good thing. But it does take a lot of effort to do it.
Yep.
So let's take a look now at how this compares to other games.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the Warriors, for instance. This is a cooperative game. Now, if you're into the IP, you'll definitely, and this takes more effort to play correctly. There's a reason why on the video that we did on this, I included a cheat sheet, and a lot of people have downloaded it.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is great. This is not Disney, but this takes more effort to play correctly than this game. So what would you rather play, this or the Warriors? Disney Animated or the Warriors?
Probably Disney Animated.
Okay, so that's I would agree with that. Okay, Back to the Future. Now, these are both Funko games. You're basically recreating the movie. And we played this. We still have not done a video on this. We need to do that.
Yeah, we do.
And you're already having puzzle pieces. If the picture gets completed, you lose the game.
Right.
So what would you rather play, this one or Disney Animated?
I don't know. That's a tough call.
Well, we haven't played this one as much.
That's true.
And so the reason why we haven't played this as much is because this is more linear. In other words, it recreates the movie so much, it's like, do I really want to play the movie again?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas this has a little bit more open-ended. It's a little bit more open-ended.
True.
So this is, again, both these games are solid.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? This is linear in the way that you have to get from one end of the town to another.
Right.
But there's more flexibility in how you use your decks,
right,
and what gangs you fight. But still, you enjoy the IP of Disney more than the Warriors.
Yes.
This, we like this game, but it's less open-ended than this one. So that's why we'd probably play Disney Animated. Now, E.T., another cooperative game where you have to put the phone together and get the rocket ship to the park to get E.T. to safety while avoiding the cops and the agents. So what would you... This is a pick up and deliver game. But it's very... I know I have to do certain things. What would you rather do? Play this E.T.? Or
Disney.
you rather play Disney Animated? Yeah, see, this is also very linear as well. We still enjoy this game, but I think Disney Animated has more replayability. Okay, Goonies. No, this is a dungeon crawl. Meaning you have one player who plays the bad guys, the monsters, and the Fratellis. Is that what their name?
Yeah.
So this takes more effort to bring to the table because it takes more setup time.
I still want it at Disney.
Yeah. So the reason why we don't play this one as much, one, once you've played a scenario, you're not likely to play it again. Also, it takes a little bit more effort to set up.
Yeah.
But it's a solid game.
It's a good movie, too.
Yes. So it's a different experience with this game. Okay, now we're getting to the Ravensburger games. Now, these are not Funko games. So Jaws, you have one versus many. Whereas this is, you have a dungeon master. Okay. Jaws is one plays Jaws, the other one plays the heroes trying to defeat Jaws. We haven't played this in a while.
No.
Again, it's by Prospero Hall, even though it's by Ravensburger. What would you play? Disney Animated or
Disney.
Jaws? Yeah. I'd play Disney Animated over this, although I appreciate this game.
Yeah. I know
For what
our
it
future
is.
daughter-in-law loved it.
Yeah, it really recreates the movie well. But again, because it's so... it's just not as open-ended.
Yeah.
I know we got to do this part around the island.
Right.
And hopefully you get powered up as a shark, and then you got to go to the last scene. It recreates the movie fine, it's just not as flexible. Okay, Horrified. Would you play Horrified or Disney Animated?
Wow. I really like them both.
Which one would you rather play? And we're not including the other Horrified too. There's two of these.
I don't know. Probably Disney.
I'd play this one over Disney Animated. Because I think this has more replayability even than Disney Animated.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. You got to get
True.
the backgrounds and the things out, okay?
Yeah.
What can be frustrating is this.
That's true.
Because I have more choices with this game
Okay.
and what we do.
Yeah. That's a good
So
point.
I'd rather play Horrified over Disney Animated, but both are solid.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be upset if you said,
Right.
if you wanted to play that.
And then Wonder Woman, we played this wrong initially, and then on the playthrough we did play it correctly, and we at first we didn't like this game.
Yeah.
But this seems a little bit more limited onto what you can do. It's kind of predictive that we better do this or we're going to lose, kind
Yep.
of thing.
I'd do it Disney over
So
that.
I'd do Disney Animated over this as well.
Yeah.
So in summary, Horrified I'd play over Disney Animated, and Disney Animated we'd play over all those other games we showed you.
Yep.
So that tells you, in terms of Prospero Hall games that they've created for Funko Games and for
Ravensburger.
Disney Animated is their second favorite cooperative version. Now, we didn't include Mickey Mouse's Beanstalk or Return of the Headless Horseman
Right.
or the Mickey Mouse puzzle game,
Yeah.
the Scrooge one,
Right.
because that's different complexity. All those games, except Horrified and Jaws, are on our channel and Back to the Future. So you can see Wonder Woman, the Goonies, E.T., and the Warriors. Eventually we'll do Back to the Future. We did Horrified and Jaws for another channel, so
We have to redo it.
We'll have to redo those. All right, so thanks for watching. It gives you an idea of how this game ranks currently of all those other Funko games and Ravensburger. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Bye.